Shalom. This is Bishop Nathaniel of Israel United in Christ. I want to start off by saying thank you to all of our Booster Club members for your many donations and much more, your prayers. We visited faraway countries and strange lands. We've even spoken to dignitaries and were detained for spreading the glorious gospel in Cuba. The truth is that the descendants of the 12 tribes of Israel were scattered throughout the world. Help us on our journey as we continue to raise up the nation of Israel. 12 tribes worldwide. Join or donate today. Shalom.
Verse 29, and thou shalt grope at noonday as the blind gropeth in darkness.
So it says we're gonna grope at noonday as the blind gropeth in darkness. You ever tried to find a light switch in the dark? You always hit it the first time. Sometimes you gotta feel around the wall for it. That's what it's talking about. It says we're gonna grope to find our way as the blind in darkness. Now, there have been many ways that people have tried to get ourselves out of the conditions that we're in. Can y'all think of some? What's going on right now?
Oh, there's a lot of things going on right now.
Okay, so how are people trying to get out from under oppression right now?
Okay, like what are they doing to stay away from it? Or
No, to literally get out from under oppression, to have their conditions improve. What are our people trying to do right now? What are the methods that they're employing to try and get our people out from oppression?
I don't know. What do you think?
You don't know? What about Black Lives Matter?
Okay, yeah. Oh,
Right, we protesting. What else are we doing?
I'm thinking too hard. What else are we doing?
What about voting? We tried that. What about going into different religions?
Yeah.
Islam, Malcolm X. You understand?
Right.
What about Christianity? Martin Luther King. You understand? All these different things our people have tried to get us out from oppression. But since the 60s, has anything changed for us?
No.
Read this curse. Read.
And thou shalt grope at noonday as the blind gropeth in darkness.
We're going to try every single way to try and get from under oppression, but it's not going to work. Read.
And thou shalt not prosper in thy ways.
Read on.
And thou shalt be only oppressed.
Only what?
Only oppressed.
Who are the only people that continually to be oppressed generation after generation after generation? It's black people. You exactly right, Jay. Read.
And spoil you evermore.
We're gonna be spoiled. Now, y'all dating?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh.
So in the Bible, right? Why did we suffer from these conditions?
Why do we suffer?
Why did we suffer from these conditions?
I don't like. So.
Wait, what did the Bible say? Remember? It says if we didn't listen to God, we will experience cursings.
Yeah.
What did listening to God entail? What do we have to do in order to listen to God?
Follow the commandments.
Follow the commandments. So because we didn't obey the commandments, right, we were put into slavery on slave ships. We're being oppressed, right? We have our sons and daughters taken away from us. All these things happen to us because we did not obey God's laws, right? So now, is boyfriend and girlfriend in God's law?
I don't think so.
Hebrews 13:4. Because according to the Bible, what are you supposed to do?
They ain't supposed to be married.
You're supposed to be married.
Right.
Read that.
This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 13 and verse 4. Marriage is honorable in all.
Marriage is honorable in all, right? Read.
In the bed, undefiled.
And whatever y'all want to do, if y'all married together in the bed, it's no problem with that thing. Read.
But whoremongers and adulterers, God will judge.
What is whoremongering and adultery getting into?
I know adultery is like when you have a wife or a husband.
And you sleeping outside the marriage, right? But what about whoremongering? What does that get into? You don't know?
I never heard of that word.
Okay. Well, in other words, sleeping around from woman to woman to woman, or man to man to man. You understand? Because is that your first boyfriend?
No.
I've had many girlfriends too, but now I'm married. You understand? Because that's what God's law says. Is that your first girlfriend? It is? Nah, bruh. See that? But the Most High said, if you laying down with the sister, you gotta marry her. Read that Exodus 22:16. Because what happens if she gets pregnant, bruh?
Ooh,
You gotta take care of the kid, but what else? What happens if you die? Does that kid and her get protection? No. You die, she don't get nothing. But if you marry, guess what happens when you die? She gets protected, and so does your child.
That's right.
You understand? That's the honor behind marriage. Our people don't think about that.
Right.
It's a heavy thing to get married because why? You're responsible for a whole nother human being. That's why most of our people don't do that. That's why it's not pushed in society. But listen to what God says. Read.
Exodus chapter 22 and verse 16. And if a man entice a maid.
So, what does enticement go into? Jay, I'm talking to you right now.
Like you try to
Entertain or something else. What do we call it nowadays? Flirt, spit game, right? If a man entice a maid, see? And she's smiling because that's how you gotta. Read.
And if a man entice a maid.
If a man entice a maid, spit game to a read.
That is not betrothed.
That is not promised to be married, read.
And lie with her.
And lay down, have sex with her.
He shall surely endure her.
Down her.
And down her to be his wife.
Jump off.
His wife.
Girlfriend.
His wife.
Baby mama.
His wife.
His wife. You understand? That's why it says marriage is honorable in all.
Right.
That's what we are teaching our people. That's one of the ways that we can get rid of some of the curses that's on our folks. Because in the hood nowadays, do you see a lot of families? No. Outside of this truth, I don't have no friends that are married. Nobody I know in the world is married. Why? Because that thing's not honored. Why? Because that's what society pushes. You got people like Megan Thee Stallion. Is she pushing marriage? What about Trey Songz? What about Chris Brown? Young Thug? Are they any of them pushing marriage? Young Thug wearing a dress out here, bro.
Right.
He ain't pushing no marriage doctrine, okay? That's what the Bible is teaching. You understand? None of these people are married, and none of these people are trying to get married or teaching you to be married. Why? Because that's what society is about.
That's right.
They're about sleeping around, woman to woman to woman, but what's that gonna profit us? Only strong families is gonna build us up. You understand? That's gonna be the basis of a strong nation. Because what other nation of people in their music, in their culture, do you see them pushing? Oh, Mr. Steal Your Girl.
Right.
Do white people sing that in their country songs? No. Are they doing that? No. Only us. Why? Judas 5:20. Judas 5:20, because it's a conspiracy against our people. We're the only ones that are suffering from these curses. Why? Because they know that if they keep us in sin,
Right.
they know they got the upper hand. Actually, let me start at verse, 17.
This is the book of Judah, chapter 5 and verse 17.
I want y'all to listen to this. These are two people conversing about the nation of Israel. You understand? They're taking crafty counsel against our people, and they're telling the history on what happens when we sin versus when we don't sin against the Most High God. Read.
And whilst they sin not before their God,
Whilst they sinned not before our God, read,
they prosper.
we prospered. Meaning we were making families. We were growing in our communities. We were having good things for ourselves. We weren't subject to prison to school pipeline or school to prison pipeline. We weren't suffering from the curses because why? We was getting married. We were not sinning against our God. You understand? Read.
Because the God that hateth iniquity
He hates sin. Read.
was with them.
He was what?
Was with them.
When we don't sin, God is with us.
Right.
He is the only one that's with us because He's the only one that's going to be able to protect us from the other nations. You
That's
understand?
right.
He is the one that has His power is in their power is in His hand. We can get that in a second. Read.
Verse 18. But when they departed from the way which He appointed them,
So when we departed away from our God, from the things that He told us to do, like marry our women, read.
they were destroyed in many battles.
We were what?
They were destroyed in many battles.
You know why we were destroyed? Because now we telling the sisters to get on WIC. And you know what happens when she's on WIC? The man can't be in the house. You understand? Food stamps, things of that nature. We cannot have men in the house if our women are giving government assistance. We don't.
Very sore. And were led captives into a land that is not theirs.
Is this land ours? Were we captives here?
Bring it out.
What happened? We sinned against God. That's why we're in the position that we're in. You understand? That's what I'm trying to get y'all to understand. Read.
And the temple of their God was cast to the ground.
And the temple of our God was cast to the ground. Read on.
And their cities were taken by the enemies.
By who?
By the enemies.
Those are the people that are trying to come against us day in and day out. You understand? That's the people who are conspiring against us. But it's going to get to the point. Read.
But now are they returned to their God.
Right now, we have been returned to our God, or we're trying to return to their God. And this time, they couldn't come against us because they knew that we were for our God. Read.
And are come up from the places where they were scattered, and have possessed Jerusalem, where their sanctuary is, and are seated in all the hill country, for it was desolate.
So we restored at this time our country, Jerusalem, Israel. Read.
Verse 20. Now therefore, my Lord and Governor, if there be any error in this people.
What's the error getting into, Jay? It says, if there be any error in this people. What error are they looking for us to commit? Sin. What is sin? Okay, we're going to get it real quick. 1 John 3 and 4. Hold that. We're going to get 1 John 3 and 4 so you can understand specifically what sin is. Actually, you know what I'm saying? Stay in 2nd Ezra. 2nd Ezra 15:24. That's, yeah, 2nd Ezra 15. Hold that. 2nd Ezra 15:24, because it's very important you understand and you're able to teach her what sin is, because that's how we're going to get better as a nation when we come away from sin. You understand? Read that. 2nd Ezra 15:24.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15 and verse 24. Woe to them that sin and keep not my commandments.
So it says, woe to them is sin who does what?
And keep not my commandment.
What is sin?
There's something you don't.
Listen close. Listen close.
Woe to them that sin.
So it says, woe or destruction to them that sin. And what is sin? Read.
And keep not my commandments.
What is sin? Not keeping the commandments. You understand that, Jasmine?
Right.
Yes.
Question. How are you supposed to get married if you can't have boyfriend and girlfriend?
Okay, all right. That's a very good question, because I had to go through that process as well. You understand? Let me get Sirach 6 and 7. All right, Sirach 6 and 7. Because what we have now is a position where we don't in biblical times we had set up marriages. You understand? You ever heard of arranged marriages?
Yes.
That's what we had back then. Today we don't have that thing. Fathers aren't in the house, families aren't together, so we don't have the ability to do that. But we do have the ability to do this. Read.
Sirach chapter 6 and verse 7. If thou wouldest get a friend,
You get a friend, what are you supposed to do?
prove him first,
Prove him first. Read.
and be not hasty to credit him.
Because a lot of times what you understand about people, the more you get to know them, the more you get to understand what their flaws are, what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are. If they're there to be with you or hold it down, or if they're just there to just get a quick hit. Because, you understand, a lot of people are only looking, and not to say this is y'all, you understand, but a lot of people are just there to hit it and quit it. Y'all heard of that? One night stands. Y'all heard of that? You understand? That's what a lot of people are into. Keep reading though. Read.
Verse 8. For some men is a friend for his own occasion.
Some people are only there just to hit it and quit it. You understand? The own occasion. They're only there to get what they need from you, and then once they get that thing, it's over with. They out. Y'all know what's happening. My man Jay knows exactly what time it is. Read.
And will not abide in the day of their troubles.
Or if one of y'all loses a job, y'all ain't got no money. Guess what? Sisters a lot of times what they do?
Bye.
They looking for a man with some money. Goodbye. I'm gonna go on to the next man because he got them cash.
Read verse 9. And there is a friend who being turned to enmity and strife.
So enmity gets into jealousy. Read. And strife. Read.
Will discover thy reproach.
So y'all ever had somebody who's mad at you and they go and tell all your secrets?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, women do that a lot. But guess what? When you have somebody who you can trust, who hold it down for you and only you, guess what? That's the point of proving a friend. You're gonna see whether or not they keep the commandments. You're gonna see whether or not they're a good spirit. You're gonna see whether or not they bug the hell out. Because a lot of people are. A lot of people ain't ready for marriage. But that's the point of proving a friend. But keep reading.
Verse 10. Again, some friend is a companion at the table.
Some people gonna sit with you when you eating, when you big, fat, and happy, right? Read.
And will not continue in in the day of thy affliction.
So they ain't gonna sit with you when you struggling. You understand? When you over here eating ramen cups for dinner every night.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When you over here holding on to a PB&J sandwich, or if you ain't got that, you just holding on to an air sandwich. You understand? When here you got honey buns and that's it. Hey. Some people ain't around for that.
Right.
Read verse 11. But in thy prosperity he will be as thyself, and will be bold over thy servant.
So it says, but in the day of your prosperity, they gonna act like they're your best friend. Right. They gonna be holding it down with you. Oh yeah, this is my boy, this is my girl. But what happens when all that stuff's over and gone with? When you got a wife, she ain't got no choice but to stick around with you, right? Whether or not she likes the situation, she gonna hold it down for you because you know that's for you. That's what the point of proving a friend is. Let me jump down to verse 14.
Verse 14. A faithful friend is a strong defense.
So this is a point. A faithful friend is a what?
Is a strong defense.
It's a strong defense. Jasmine, are we answering your question?
Yeah.
You understand? So what you have to do is feel like the friend that you proven is going to be a strong defense from anything that may come against you. What they say in their marriage vows, for rich or for poor, in sickness and in health. That thing's real. That's according to the Bible, because that's what a wife is supposed to be to a man, and a man is supposed to be to a woman. You're supposed to be a pillar of rest.
Used to scream black power while heroin was pushed, but at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.